Well, how's it going, ladies and gentlemen, family and friends? You guys know who this is. This is DJ Rick, and I'm the founder of National Sex Day, the only sex holiday there is on record. We do what we do here because we talk about it all. We talk about sexual transmitted disease prevention. We talk about people who have ED, women who never had an orgasm before, sexual health, sexual coaching, sexual therapy, and also the adult industry. We love what we do. You know, everybody's kind of a part of this. No matter where you are in the world, you will benefit from listening to the podcast of National Sex Day. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we got a very special episode with you today. I've had a bunch of female guests, but you know what? That's kind of where it is, right? Everybody likes those pretty women, but this is the first time we ever had male talent on the podcast. This is my good friend. This is AZ Pornstar out of the Southwest part of our country. How you doing, my friend?
I am doing good. How about yourself?
Well, you know what? It's a new year. We're having a great time. It's 2023, so I'm putting a little date on this episode. But the thing that we start off with rock stars like yourself. So I'm glad you could be here. I'm glad you could be my guest.
Fantastic. Thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate you.
Not a problem at all, sir. So got to ask the big question first, because I ask everybody this. People want to know how people get into what they do. So what was the moment that you decided one day you woke up and said, I'm going to be in the porn business?
So it didn't actually start off by that. I've always been a sexual type of person, but my entry into the adult film world was actually by accident. And yeah, it was at the time I was photographing. I bought a bunch of photography equipment. I was shooting weddings and portraits and all that kind of stuff. And just starting out, things were kind of slow. So I go on Craigslist and go, let me see what's out there. And so I answer an ad. Now at the time I'm living in New York. So I answer an ad. It says it's, for East Orange, New Jersey. And I was like, it's not too bad. It's 45 minutes for me. So I'll make the drive. And the ad basically said, you have to be comfortable photographing partially nude and fully nude people. And I'm like, at the time I'm 21 years old. I'm like, listen, I'm going to get paid to photograph naked women. Of course, I'm signing up for this. So I go down. And I come into this big complex. It's nothing but it looks like an old, like a factory type of building, a lot of brick and all that kind of stuff. And I walk in and there's a waiting room and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, they must have a studio where I shoot here. Okay. And as I go down a hallway, and as soon as I walk into the room, I see her laying on the couch, butt naked, just on her phone. I see the dude just, cranking off on the side, checking his phone. And I'm like, I just walked onto a porn set. Wow. And so the producer he goes, listen, he goes, we're going to mock up all the shots. He goes, so we're going to go through, we're going to mock up everything that we're going to do in the scene. I need you to take stills of it. And then I need you to sit against the wall. I'm going to film the whole thing. And then at the end, come in, take some pictures of the cum shots, and we're done. And this is what I'm going to pay you. I was like, cool. Like, I'm on a porn set. Love it. So I do this for about a year and a half. And I remember the one shoot, I'm just chilling out, at the wall on my phone and everything. And the male talent's having some difficulty getting to the finish. And the producer had already paid this girl a lot of money to come in and do the scene. And so I think half joking, half serious, he turns to me and he goes, do you want to do this? And I swear, but before he even finished getting a full sentence out of his mouth, my shirt was off, my pants were off, and I'm like, let's do this. And so I jump in, and the whole site was about facials. And so I jump in and I blast this girl. She was covered. And at the end of it, the producer comes to me and he goes, that was the best first cum shot I've ever seen. He goes, if I paid you a little bit more money, could you do the pictures and then step in at the end of the scene and do that every single time? And I'm like, more money. I get to jump into the scene. I'm like, yes. And so that's how I got it. He called me his stunt cock. Wow. And I jumped in and that's what I did. That's how I got my entry into this business.
Oh yeah, see, people don't understand that aspect. You got the regular people, you got your doubles, you got your body doubles, just like in vanilla acting. I've got a background in doing radio, TV, and film. Haven't done any adult things, but I can tell you right now that people have stunts or lookalikes, whatever, and that's another aspect of the business some people don't know about. But I think you've got your own production company, correct?
I do, yeah. I actually I have two sides. I have one that I have a business partner in. That's kind of taken a little bit of a hiatus right now. He's got some personal stuff going on.
Sure.
So we did that. So I started my own production company in July of last year and released my first scene in the end of August, beginning of September.
Now, some people, I've got to ask you this because there's a lot of independent contractors, independent production companies. And, this is an independent production company, but as far as the adult business, when you get talent, like how do you fund that? Because people don't understand there's money to be given, there's money to be made, but, they see the production, they like it, do what they do to it and think, oh my God, cash cows flowing in automatically when it does take time to build up, but you got to pay people to make money. It takes money to make money. Am I correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's not even just the people aspect; it's the equipment aspect. It's the being able to advertise yourself. I mean, I have a website that you can go to. I mean, there's a lot of things in this business that cost a lot of money up front. But
Yes.
once you have that content library, once you're consistent, once you've built a following, everything catches up after. And in the production company that I have a business partner in, I mean, we haven't shot anything in over a year. We haven't posted anything in almost a year, but all the work that we did up front is still paying off. We still have members joining. We still have people buying things. It's still happening and we haven't touched it. So it's a lot of work up front. And what I tell people is don't get discouraged. One, you need some money to start this. And two, don't get discouraged. You have to plan on working in this business and on it for at least 12 months before you start seeing the fruits of your labor.
Exactly. Everybody says, hey, man, we've done a couple. No one bought this. No one bought that. The market is oversaturated. Sex is always going to sell. And I tell people that, on this podcast and in person, because when I take pictures and film, I've done some weddings like you've done. I've done some adult things too, as far as taking pictures of the clients. But I tell them, you will build that. You will need that. You'll sell it later. People don't understand that old porn still sells. 70s, 80s porn, people still rock. It's like you said, you get the residual from it and it still does what it does. So when you have your female talent, because if I'm correct, you are a male talent that's in most of your production. So what do you look for when you hire female talent?
I am a very body positive individual. So it doesn't matter how tall or short, how big or skinny you are. None of that matters to me. What I look for are people who are willing to have a good time on set, because people, the consumer can tell when there isn't that connection, when things are, somebody's just there going through the motions. And so I look for somebody who puts out good content themselves. So I look at, some of the stuff that they've done with other creators. I look for people who are heavy into the marketing aspect of it, the promotion aspect of it, because I see in this industry, a lot of women do not retweet or tag in terms of Twitter male talent. They just, the women put out their content. They go, here I am. And a lot of times you're like, well, who's the guy that's in there? And what kind of models and talent is he working with? So I look at the promotion factor. And so everybody that I work with, when I publish the scene, I'm tagging them, they're tagging me, we're retweeting, we're working together to help each other out. And that's ultimately what I look for with anybody that I work with.
Gotcha. Very important. Social media is where it is. Online stuff is where it is. Our podcast, we're catching a lot of, attention now because we talk to people like yourself, interview people like yourself. And I've been invited to go to several things now. FedCon is out there too, Exotica, stuff like that. And when I talk to these people, again, they are connecting with the tweets, they're connecting with their social medias, connecting with, hey, come here and see my OnlyFans, whatever it is, you got to keep that going. And if you don't, you're going to fail. But also if you partner with people, if it's more than one person working with that person, you got double this and double that. We have 8.3 million hashtags on TikTok for National Sex Day. And it blew my mind when that happened. So when I interview people like yourself, I talk about it. I say, hey, those 8.3 million hashtags can also follow you guys too. So boom, you're right there. You're right on the money. So I got to ask one crazy question before we come to a close here, but I want to know, like, of all the people you've worked with, you don't necessarily have to name names or whatever, but do you have that one talent that, A, you're going to have fun with, B, she's going to sell, C, when you call her, she's going to come? Because I notice some people favor a certain person sometimes. I'm not saying everybody's good or bad, but they know that connection, like you said, is there. And if it's there, if it's a plan for success, you keep doing it. That's just a business plan right there. Is that one or two talent people you still work with? Do they still call or come by and you film?
Yeah, so I have a little bit of a cheat code in this area. One, because my partner in real life also shoots with me. We don't make our relationship known in terms of our adult business,
Sure.
but we do shoot together a lot. Um, the other part of it is that I'm real big on the ethics, the standards, boundaries, and everything else, and so I work with a lot of talent over and over and over again. I mean, they book with me months in advance. They're like, "Hey, I want to work with you once or twice a month to shoot content." And so, um, I, for me, those connections build over time. The first scene is always a little bit awkward, but what I find is that as I work with them more and more, it gets better. That the connection on screen looks much better, and so that's ultimately my goal. Is I want to work with talent over and over again. So honestly, all of them. I love working with everybody. I have not, in all candidness, I have not had a bad experience since I started my own production company back in July. Everybody that I've worked with has been absolutely wonderful, has been super professional, has wanted to come back and shoot more content, contributes ideas and everything else. And it's been an amazing experience from the get-go.
That sounds great. See that, people behind the scenes, things do work out. People do make connections. You get friendships out of it too. You get people say, "Hey, we'll go hang out, but if you want to shoot content, we got this." You're comfortable knowing what they can do and what you can do together. So that is
Yeah.
right there. It's very important. You're coming to the Metroplex sometime, so you say you might head here to Dallas, right?
Yes. I'll be in Dallas and Houston at the end of this month.
Well, then you ought to just let me know because I'm in town. Maybe we can sit down. Or actually, I've been asked to do a documentary on the
Oh,
adult
okay.
industry. A group called Private Society up north. They're like, look, we like what you do. They're sponsors of what we got here. They financially contributed and said, follow us around with a camera and do your thing. Because I've been a director. I've directed a barbecue show. I've directed some commercials down here and
Nice.
stuff like that. So again, that's my film background. I've got a degree in this, but I've never done something really with the adult industry, like behind the scenes or interview people on set. And if you're down with that, hey, let me know. I'm in the Metroplex. Look me up.
I will absolutely look you up and we will meet up when I'm in town for sure.
I tell you, he's coming to the big D, y'all, man. I know you're in an area where it's hot, but it's hotter in Texas. It's going to be
Yeah, right.
81 degrees tomorrow in January. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's going to get down to 20. So we're going to hear and get sick again. That's
Yeah.
what it's going to be. Give us a shout and give me the name of your production company where people can find you.
So easiest way, just look up AZ Pornstar. I'm on Twitter, azpornstar.com. We'll have links to all the different social medias. I'm also on FetLife. I know that doesn't get mentioned a whole lot in terms of the adult industry, but I think it's a great way to connect with other like-minded individuals. So I'm on
Sure.
FetLife. But best thing you can do, azpornstar.com. It'll have all my links, and then you can find me from there.
You will find this man and his talent there. I've seen his productions. I think you guys need to check it out for yourselves. And if he's in the big D, hey, we're going to hook up and hopefully go from there and expect some other podcasts and big things from National Sex Day because we're going to have the actual and very first National Sex Day celebration this year. We did have a small one last year, but then when you first get started, it didn't catch on. Now it's like fire. 8.3 million hashtags, FedCon, Exotica. Other people are saying, hey, do this, do that, yourself, other talent. We love what's going on here. We put it all together and we talk about it. So we will see you guys again next time. And again, AZ Pornstar, I can podcast with you later on this year. I tell
Yeah.
people if I like what's happening, I bring them back as a follow-up. People want to know what you're doing months from now, and we'll keep up and do what we do. So thank you for being my guest. Thank y'all for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.